Romshinators, it is so good to be back speaking with you once again. Thank you so much for joining me on this beautiful winter's day. And many of us, we get kind of sad in the winter, we get depressed. The icy cold winds hit our nostrils, hit our skin, and make us fear for our life on a deep primordial level. They make our soul scared. Will we make it? Do we have enough canned food and preserves? Will I be able to get a moose and drag it back to camp? All of these fears, we think they're long behind us. No. They live within our brains, within our psyches, and they manifest themselves in weird ways, in weird sort of lack mentalities. Scarcity mindsets. Well, today we're here to shift the paradigm, Romshinators. We're shifting the paradigm out of the scarcity and lack mindset, and we're going into abundance. Yes, because today I'm going to share with you a beautiful secret that will keep you creative, no matter how depressed, sad, or seasonally affected you may be. You may be thinking, that's a bold claim, Romshi. Well, I'm a bold man. I have bold sensibilities. I have nothing to lose. I have nothing to hide. But I have everything to give my Romshinators out there. Please get yourself a nice hot cup of tea or coffee. I know I've got a couple drinks back here. And get ready to hear a beautiful secret that will unlock your creativity today. Oh, it's so hard these days. I work so hard at my job and I get home and I just don't have the energy to be creative. I just can't do it, Romshi. There's just too much responsibility. When I was younger, I had all this energy, I had all these dreams, but they've been just crushed out of me by the world. You don't get it, Romshi. If I was to be creative, I would need to quit my job and fly to a place where it's sunny all year round. I would need to pray to a God that does not exist yet. He hasn't been invented. And this fractal beast in the sky would hand me down my creativity. He would give it back to me. That's the only way it could happen. I get hundreds of emails every week saying that exact same thing, just how I said it, word for word. From 100 different Romshinators out there. We're almost at 200 subscribers, by the way. Thank you so much. I'm about to reveal to you a secret which mankind has always known inside, because we have been forced to obey this rule until today. And that rule, that secret, is that limitations are what create creativity. Limitation leads to creation. I want you to write that down. I want you to pull out a fucking notebook and write that down. Don't do it on your phone, because then the government can read it. And I don't want those goofballs in the government to be any more creative than they are, okay? Limitation leads to creation. And that's how you get motivation to continue escalation. See? I just did it there because I limited myself to things that rhyme with limitation. And all of a sudden, I began rapping like nothing you've ever heard before because I had a framework. The framework was the word limitation, creation, motivation, exacerbation, annihilation, situation. And you and me are in a situation right now where the society we live in does not want us to be creative. They want us to be neutered, a little sheep, walking in one line, going to watch our stupid little Movies, in the movie theater, you go there, there's only 10 people, and you see your rail-thin celebrities up there, caked in makeup, saying the same old shit over and over again, and you think, well, I could have been famous if I had only put out the right TikTok video. No, creativity comes from the soul. It comes from limitations, because mankind has always been limited. We were limited by the seasons, limited by technology, limited by our own understanding of the universe. And now in this age of knowledge, this age of enlightenment, where I have everything at my fingertips, I can go to splice.com and download any sound in the world. I can go on Fiverr and hire any instrument in the world. I can get someone to sing for me. I can get AI to make the music for me. And yet we are in a creative drought, because our souls are shriveled up, because we have forgotten this rule, and that rule is that limitation leads to creation, and creation leads to motivation and escalation so that you can improve your situation. It's not a game, romshinators. So all this rapping is good. But Romshi, give me some concrete examples. Well, I'll give you an example that's happening right now. I have always loved ambient music. And it always kind of scared me to make it. You know, I'd make an ambient track here or there, but for most of my life I was in bands, trying to make sort of down-tempo electronic music. The Romshii albums that exist right now, they're mostly stuff like that. Before that, I was in a band called Our Father Star. Before that, I was in a band called The Auras for 6 years. But ambient music was always in the back of my mind as my most favorite genre. And whenever I would sit down to try and make ambient music, I would sit down on my computer and I would start downloading these different synths, and I had all these different tracks, and I could not wrap my head around it. I couldn't get it to sound good. I couldn't get it to sound relaxing. I didn't know what to do. And one day I got fed up, and you know what? I just got out this green Line 6 looper pedal, and I got out a shitty little keyboard called the Rap Master. You may have seen it in some of my other videos. It's called the Rap Master keyboard. And I sat there with these two things, and I began to make ambient music better than any ambient music I had ever made, because I had added limitations to myself. Okay, when you go on the internet, you go on Splice, you go on Ableton, you go on Pro Tools, you have every sound available, you get option paralysis. It's like when you're looking on Netflix and you can't figure out what to watch. There's too many. You need to pick. In my case, I have this giant pedal board. I have to have everything within this pedal board. I have one reverb I'm using on the computer, and that's it. All of a sudden, I've gone from limitless options to limitless possibilities. I want you to remember that. There's a big difference between options and possibilities. An option is up there in the sky. An option is something that you're imagining. It doesn't even exist. A possibility is right here and now. I have a possibility to make something incredible with the pedals in front of me. I have the option to go to your mom's house tonight, and she's gonna make me a nice dinner, but I probably won't, because I know that would hurt you emotionally, and I don't want to put you through that because you're a romshinator. And just because I could do that doesn't mean I will. So let's say you're having a creative block. Let's say you're a writer. Romshii, I don't have enough time. I can't write. I get home and my kids are screaming at me, my husband's a piece of shit. He smokes crack, he drinks, he jerks off on the subway. That's his job. He's a full-time subway jerker. He comes home and he lays on the couch tired, and I'm forced to do all the housework. How about this? In that 5-minute bus ride you have, I'm gonna give you a writing assignment that's gonna have limitations. And one of the limitations is that you only have 3 minutes to write it. So there you go, time limitation. You're not even gonna have to come up with the story, because you're gonna write the story of Little Red Riding Hood from the wolf's perspective, except for the wolf is Santa Claus. So Santa Claus has somehow found his way into the wolf's position in the story Little Red Riding Hood. And now you have 3 minutes to write one paragraph from his point of view. Go. Do it on the bus, on your notes app. Doesn't matter if the government can see this. They're going to wonder how you had such an amazing creative idea while you're getting your soul sucked out by society. All of a sudden you're writing. All of a sudden you're thinking, what a crazy idea. Maybe some part of that paragraph sparks another creative flow, and you start thinking of other ideas. This is how limitations can work in your favor. Let's say you're starting a band with your friends. There's 3 of you. Already that's a limitation. But it's not limited enough. You all have different points of view. You all like different genres. Oh, we can't figure it out. We just can't seem to gel. How about this? The guitar player and the bass player can never play the same note at the same time. And the guitar player can't play any chords. He can only play one note at a time. So you and the bass player, one note at a time, can never be the same note. And the drummer can only use a floor tom and a kick drum. Have a jam like that. And tell me at the end if you don't come up with some crazy shit. Now you can go later and edit it and take off the limitations and add limitations, whatever you want to do. But these types of exercises are gold mines for creativity. They will unlock things that you would never discover otherwise. Let's say you're a painter. A painter. Let's say you're a painter. You want to start painting. You can't think of anything to paint. You say, romshii, I'm not good enough to paint a duck. I'm not good enough to paint a building. I can't even paint a stick man without it looking like a fucking disaster. But I have a passion within. I want to paint. How about this? Settle down. Calm down. You can breathe. Rub it. I want you to pick 3 shapes. You know what? I'll pick them for you. Circle, triangle, square. I want you to pick 3 colors. You have to pick the colors, but they have to go together. They have to look great together. Gold, purple, and aquamarine. I want you to paint 10 pictures under those limitations. And tell me if at the end you haven't unlocked something. You will. I don't even need you to get back to me about that. I've gotten back to myself. You have unlocked something. You've unlocked greatness. You've unlocked creativity in a world gone mad. Do I need to say anything else? Do I need to go on? Limitation leads to creation, which leads to motivation, which leads to escalation to improve your situation. I want you to write that down. And I also want you to remember, options are not possibilities. Possibilities are what happens when you select a couple options and begin to work your magic. Because within this pedal board, and within that 3-piece band, and within that 3-shape combination painting, there are limitless possibilities within those limitations. Do you feel that? Limitless possibilities within limitations, which leads to creation and motivation to improve your situation. Oh. Feels good to get this off my chest. Romshinators, I know you may have noticed this already, but I've been putting out some ambient instrumental music. The song that I'm working with right now is actually one of the tracks that's out there as meditation music. So just check out my channel. I'm uploading meditation stuff. If you like the ambient stuff there, you might want to check it out and just have a moment. Put it on while you're painting. Put it on while you're packing your bags, packing your boxes, and moving on to a better, more creative life because of the wisdom I've given you today. I love you, Romshinators. And nobody loves you like I do. Let me tell you that. Because you're a beautiful soul. And you have something to give. You just need a little bit of help. It's okay. We all do. Do you know I used to make Campbell's soup and I never used to add water into it until I was like 30? We all need help. I ate soup paste for 30 years.